there's just something in the back of my mind that's like, but like, I also don't want it to be better because I want the people that spammed Lego to suffer. Hey, what's up, you guys? This is MCLegoboy here with 75280 501st Legion Clone Troopers. 285 pieces of this. Yeah, like it happened. And I know that I'm late to the party, but like, you know, I've been stuck in a house with other people in it, and for whatever reason, I'm extremely self-conscious when it comes to reviewing. Also, I can't be this loud, you know. Not that I couldn't be this loud, but like, I don't, it's a whole thing. I don't really want to get into it. But anyway, so this set exists. It's surprising that it does. And I fundamentally disagree with how it has come about. But since it's here, I'm not going to get it. Like, I need to at least get one, you know, while I can. So yeah, $30, and some of that is like definitely worth it because of the number of parts that you get and the number of figures that you get in one single set for $30. But there's also some other issues with it, and like I'll talk about them, but you know, yeah, that's pretty much it. And I already built the set. So it's all here for you guys to look upon and enjoy. We are missing one clone, but fret not. There's only one clone that is not going to be seen here at the moment. And I guess we just talk about minifigures first. So, battle droids. Like, you really need me to show you the focus on a battle droid, but this is a battle droid. This is what it looks like. It's been the same since 2007. I'll update. It's been the same since 1999, except for the arm, which has been around since 2007. So we have those droids. We also have, I don't know, which one's going to be easier to take off of here? That's too much work. I'm going to go for this one. We have the 501st standard clone. He looks great. So when initial images were released, everybody was freaking out over the white hips. Having looked at this guy for quite a bit now, despite being blurry,
focusing,
I think that the white hips work. I don't know why they chose to go with the white hips necessarily, because all other clones, except for like on a very few occasions, like 2008, you had shock troopers with white legs with the white hips, but most times the clones always had black hips and then whatever their legs were, unless it was like a super specialized variant or something like that. But anyway, point is, you know, we also have a proper skin tone for a clone trooper, matching more of what Tamora Morrison's face is like. So yeah, and his actual skin tone. So pretty cool that it is finally accurate, but you know, I don't know why it took him so long to put it in dark flesh, but it did. But now it's here and it looks good. This guy, he would normally have a actually, he would probably have this gun of all the guys that I have at the moment. This is something that I don't really care for. I would much rather just not have this black candle piece on it. And the reason why is because, not that this looks bad, this looks bad. It ends with like this little thing on the end, and I'm like, that doesn't look good. So actually, what I propose, what you do, if you have any extras, get this piece. This piece works great as the end for these things. Look at that. That looks so good. And I feel like it more accurately depicts what the gun looks like because of kind of the ridges that are on it. So I'm just putting that out there. I'm not saying that you have to do it, but I do think that this looks a little silly, in my opinion. Because it's just got this little bit at the end. Like, that doesn't look good. Also, it kind of makes the gun maybe a little too long. I don't know. But, yeah. So, that's this guy. Your standard 501st clone. I guess one of the reasons why I picked this setup is because I don't really have too many 501st guys. I know that there are some people out there that bought a number of sets or bought just the minifigs online and stuff like that to get your older 501st clones that came in sets like the ATRT or any of the other stuff that was based on Umbara. So yeah, like this is the Clone Wars design, and you know it works. I do kind of miss the blue arms, but it makes sense that like there's really not that much blue on the 501st guys. It's really only on their chest and helmets. There's a little bit on their arms, but it's like specifically on the forearms or the elbows. It's never like the whole arm. That was something that was more done with Clone Wars. And again, it was never like the whole arm was blue, but there was a stripe that went along the entire arm. And when you look closer to what you see in the movies, it's really more of a thinner striping. So there's that. And then you have your rocket. You have your I don't know, your jet trooper. That's what it is. So it comes with the 501st jet trooper. Supposedly you can see these guys in season 5 at the very beginning of the final arc, the episode Sabotage. That should be what, 5/17. So season 5 episode 17, that would be the episode Sabotage. Supposedly you can see these guys in there. They are definitely more prominently focused in the final arc, Siege of Mandalore in Clone Wars. They're also more known to have been in the Battlefront 2 game, although I never played it, so I wouldn't actually know that. Only things that people tell me. They come with this blue jetpack. That's pretty cool to get the jetpack piece in a new color. And there's some extra printing on that. I don't think I ever showed you the back of the guy, but maybe I did. I don't know. It's really not that important. Like, you know that all like stormtroopers, clone troopers, they all have front and back printing on them. So yeah. So those are the minifigures. And now we're going to start talking about the rest of the set, because I have some thoughts on that. And my lunch is making me burpy. I had very cheesy potatoes. So we'll get the ATRT out of the way. We're going to focus on this BARC Speeder. And to do that, we're also going to get all the other BARC Speeders out and ready to go. Well, I stopped the recording for a second. So here we are with our haul of BARC Speeders. Yeah, there's a lot of them. So 2005, this is what we got. Different minifigure, of course. But this is what a BARC Speeder was, and I do love the use of these like ratchet joint pieces with the toe ball pins in them. That's just a very neat design. I don't know how accurate it is. It's not inaccurate, but like, yeah. So we had that. The rest of it doesn't really quite look right. Then in 2011, we got this design. Green, again, different minifigure was on it, but this design is my personal favorite. It feels properly scaled to a minifigure, and I really I want to like just pour it out for the guy that designed this set for the battle pack from 2011, because like this is the GOAT! The GOAT! Solid design. I love it. I don't know why they changed it, because it really works. Although I think the reason why is because in 2013, when we got this, based off of the season 3 episode. Was it season 3?
Hey, good try, but that's wrong.
Maybe it was 4. Must have been 4.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Why
The
you
slavery
gotta treat
arc.
me like this?
Again, we're talking about the set, not the minifigures, because the minifigures were not with this set. It was Obi-Wan and Rex. But I got 2 specifically so that I could have Anakin and Ahsoka, and then Rex and Obi-Wan. But I think the reason why is because they had the sidecar, and they wanted to make sure that the sidecar was like a good, decent size. And so that kind of meant that the BARC Speeder itself needed to be upscaled. Now, maybe this is a more accurate scale, but I feel like it is definitely oversized. It's just too big because, like, of course, like, everything's in the other room. But, like, when you think about the scout troopers and their speeder bikes from Return of the Jedi, they're about like this size when it comes to Lego form, and that feels appropriate. This seems obnoxious, and so, like, I get why they did it, and I'll leave it as it is because these are in their own separate scene. I don't have any other BARC Speeders with them, although this is most likely going to join them soon. But, like, this is the current BARC Speeder. Now, I don't hate it. All right, like, I do like it. It's accurate in shaping. It just seems like this is too much, you know? Even this, like, everything is just like a little, I don't know, something's just not quite sitting well with me. But it's like, it's even longer than the other BARC Speeder, which was already large to begin with. So, you know. These types of guns on there, I kind of like it better when they're harpoons. I don't know how accurate that is, but I like it better when they're harpoons. And then you have these little stud shooters on there, which I'm sure is bugging a lot of people. I feel more bugged that I can't position the little vanes, that the little direction vanes, because at least with this I could do it on all of them, actually. Even this one with the old shields, I could mess with which direction things were going so I could have it look like it's properly turning. This, they're like inserted into these pins. It's crazy. So, yeah. They did change the way that the handlebars went. That's actually kind of nice. Although I still... Again, this works perfectly fine. It's one of those things to where it's like, what works perfectly fine but not necessarily 100% accurate is not that big of a deal to me. But when you try and get like totally accurate and start scaling things up, it starts to be a little ridiculous. So, but of the 2 vehicles in this set, the BARC Speeder is definitely the better of the 2. And that's probably a very widely, commonly held opinion. There's nothing too controversial to say with that. So that's the BARC Speeder. Let's get all these other BARC Speeders out of here so that we can focus on this ATRT, because, oh boy, we got some things to talk about. So here are my ATRTs. I'm missing, what, like 2 of them, I think. There was a smaller one that came in a clone turbo tank, and there was the big one from the 20th anniversary celebration sets from 2019. I didn't want another clone turbo tank because I already have 2. I've got the one from 2005 and the one from 2010. This is all starting to sound like I'm bragging, but I'm just like stating facts. I'm not trying to show off. So I didn't need another little small ATRT in a clone turbo tank, and I didn't need another big ATRT similar to this because, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, in 2005, we got this. This is the first ATRT. It has a few limitations in its movement, but I think that this is arguably the perfect size for an ATRT when it comes to like making a set for just the ATRT. Because it's of a considerable enough scale for the set designers to get all their details in, because like they upscale the ships and vehicles and things in Star Wars when they need to in order to get detail, but then you also have ships that are like massively large that they make smaller because they're considering price or whatever. I don't know. But like the ATRT is something that is very bare bones. It has legs, it's got a front shield area, and it's got where the pilot goes. There's not much else to it. And so this, I feel, is like the perfect representation of what you should be doing. When it comes to minifigure scaling with the other one, this is what you want to go for. This is about the right size. Not everything is perfect about this, and I'll have an example coming up soon of what could be done with a custom design of mine. But this is like what you want to go for when you make your own ATRT. You want to go for about this size. I don't know why in 2013 they were like, make it bigger. But they did, and I don't know. This thing is massive, and it doesn't have any good articulation. Everything, like all the joints, have something in the way, so you can't get this thing in a decent running pose. I put it like this, and the thing looks like it's going to fall over. If I put it back one more, it falls forward this direction. So, like, there's really no good way to deal with it. You get to this year's ATRT, though, and I can actually get it in a running position. So that's actually pretty good. And when we put it up next to the original 2005 model, it's actually not all that out of size. Like, it's a decent size. So, like, way to go. This is pretty good. And then you start to look at it more and more. It's better in person than it is in images, but you continue to look at this thing, and it gets weirder and weird. Like, this front on view, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all because these legs are way too far out. They're way out to the side. They're just too much. You have these things that, like, kind of smaller legs. You make sure that you have all the knee joint area that you want, but then up here at the hip, it kind of stalls. But you know what? That's fine because I can actually get it in a running pose. That's pretty cool. I like that. I look at the feet, though. They look really weird. They're just not right. There's something is not right here, and I can't quite figure out what it is, but it just doesn't look quite that good. Also, you have this issue of, like, we have silver and light gray and dark gray and blue all running wild down here. They do add this little heel, though, and I think that if that wasn't there, this thing would be falling over more. This gives it a little extra stability, and I appreciate that. There's a sticker here that which like shows a piston of some sort. This is like Bionicle level piston where it just exists to be a piston. It doesn't actually do anything to where if you thought about it, it would actually make sense for there to be a piston there. So I don't know. You look at this thing, I don't know what's going on there. This is the opposite direction. It should be up here going down there. Like, what is going on? Again, this thing, it seems like way too thin there, but maybe not. I don't know. This feels maybe a little long, or it's a little large. I don't know what's going on there. And you have this gun up here, the stud shooter. I have no problem with stud shooters. I really do not. But, like, there should be a long barrel. And I think that there's a way to make it work. I just haven't played around with it enough. Although, I think I just figured it out. So, if you take the 1x1 guys, if we can do that, how in the way is that going to be? Yeah, you could actually put in like a cone and a big antenna like that. You could actually have the long blaster. So you can have this thing just be slightly modded and it'll work for you. So after months of not even touching this, I finally figured out a way to fix it. So that's pretty good. I might actually do that for the review, but we'll do that later. No, we do it now. So, what I did is I got a second 501st Battle Pack, and I've already made the modification to it, although I don't know if I'm going to keep the set together, which is why I don't have any stickers on it. But I really like this modification that I've done, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So, all you need are 6 parts. You need an antenna. Need a Technic pin, a little half pin, need G-slope, need a cone, 1 dark gray 1x1, and 1 bracket. So very simple. All you do first, flip this over, or break it off, whatever. We're adding this 1x1 cone, or not cone, geez, slope, just because that looks nice. We're adding dark gray because this part really only comes in dark gray. And it doesn't hinder any movement. And, you know, that kind of works. It kind of fits with the rest of the aesthetic of Lego sets. So, yeah, just kind of making sure that that's pointing in the correct direction, you know. I get a little obsessed with how things go. That cone, antenna goes in the cone. I know I said that, like, the original thing that I said was a kind of the thing that they use for the antenna up here. I felt like that was a little long. So you do that, and add the Technopin right there. Kind of gives it a little bit of visual interest. And you put this on upside down.
Hammer up.
So not only do you get to keep the stud shooter, because I don't really have a problem with that, but it also acts as like that kind of bottom gun little thing that you find on the AT RTs. So there you go. It's a simple little mod, and it works. It only takes 6 parts. Most of them you should have in your collection. If not, the only, like, the rarest thing in there is going to be this bracket. But they're coming more frequently in sets. You'll have it in no time. And yeah, it doesn't hinder any movement at all. So it works, and I'm pleased with it. So now back to the review. So, like, this ATRT is a big mixed bag because, like, there's stuff that's oversized about it that I don't quite understand, and then there's stuff that's undersized or just weirdly proportioned that don't make sense. And so I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't know. There's just something not right about it. So I feel like there's definitely something that could be done better. And what I think could be done is that you just forego this altogether. You try and go more for a minifigure scaled ATRT, which means you also need to cut back on your BARC Speeder, make it the small version, like this.
He's the GOAT!
And boom, this is where my other 501st guy was. He's been chilling out on my custom ATRT. So this, I will say, again, not perfect. It keeps more of this style where the gun is like way low like this. But I don't mind it, you know? And I've already kind of showcased my ATRT before, but I've made a few modifications. I changed the toes up a bit on how they're connected. I changed the side toes to where they look better. And this is an ATRT that is 501st variant, of course. So there's a lot more blue involved. This, I would normally have it be the dishes, the little small 1x2 dish things. But yeah, I don't have any of those as spare parts, and I was trying not to steal things from my collection. So yeah, I would much rather just kind of like let them be as they are. So right now, this is what we're dealing with. I could do these dishes at any point, but because I was doing this review, I didn't want any of the sets to have their parts missing. And we're using mixel joints on the legs because they're nice and sturdy. We use these panels to keep them from moving side to side. The hip has some movement for you. The ankle has some movement for you. So you're able to do quite a bit with this ATRT. And what's great about that is that then you can kind of get them to stand no matter what. I haven't really tried getting it in a running position to where it could stand on its own. Not for a while anyway. You had to really exaggerate a few things. But this is just like an example of what Lego could do one day and maybe make it work. The only thing that I would say do differently is to try and get this gun to be a little different. But again, it's like this allows you to pivot up and down and turn left and right. So like, you know. And plus I like seeing these big chunky blaster parts on it. So that's fun. Really, all we're down to is like a couple of stickers to make it more accurate and get these things in regular blue, not dark blue. And again, maybe a sticker or at least a print of like the 501st logo. So that, like, this is 100% possible to do So I don't know why Lego doesn't do it. But can you imagine this only costing $20 and getting all the same minifigures? Like, come on, that's the way to go. But no, we get a great BARC Speeder and we get an okay ATRT. And I think the reason why is for how this this set came about. And like I don't want to bring this up, but I kind of have to. This set came about by way of fans going to Lego's Twitter feed and just spamming them every day. We want a 501st battle pack. We want a 501st battle pack. We want a 501st battle pack. Every day, hundreds of people, they did that. It was all spearheaded by M&R Productions. Somebody that, like, I've never really followed. I don't really care all that much. But, like, he spearheaded that, and I was like, dude, what? You can't do that. Like, that's not how you conduct business, all right? That's not okay. But he did it, and he happened to have a ton of fans that did the same thing. So, like, I really disagree with the practice of doing that. And so, I think that in retaliation, despite the fact that they upped the price of the set by giving you both a BARC Speeder and an ATRT, so that you'd have regular guns instead of the stud shooter guns, which I've never had a problem with, but people have a problem with them. They do that. They give you half a set that's good, and then they give you this weird thing. And that's kind of like a way for Lego to get some payback. And it's like, you guys are going to pay $30. If you want multiple copies of this, you have to pay $30 each, and you're not even getting the best set out of it, because we know all you care about are the figures. And so it feels like half of this set is made just because it needs to exist, not because it is something that people wanted. And so, like, you get all the great figures, you get half a great set. Although, again, I still say that it's oversized. I would very much rather have something more like this than that. But whatever. So, like, it's really, I don't know. It's one of those things that I feel a little conflicted about. I think that $30 is a fair price, but I do think that the ATRT could be better. And there's just something in the back of my mind that's like, but like, I also don't want it to be better, because I want the people that spammed Lego to suffer. Because, you know, if they actually want to have a bunch of ATRTs in their MOC now that like is going to use like 30 clones or something, then, you know, like, they're going to be forced to make it better. They're going to be forced to mod it. And so you better hope that they have proper Lego collections to make that possible. So, I don't know. But, yeah. I want ATRTs like this. Nice small ATRTs. Can you imagine if there was a set of just two of these guys and just like generic clones, or maybe like a clone from each of the major factions? So you get like a 501st, a 212th, a 332nd, I think is what it is. Whoever Bly's guys are. And let's go with the 91st Recon guys. So, you know, you could actually make like a whole group of dudes, and you could have like, yeah, like, come on. I think it'd be great. But, you know, like that would sell like crazy, I think. Or maybe you just go with the two main factions. You go with the 212th and you go with the 501st. You can make it work. I like wholeheartedly believe that you can make it work, and it would sell even more than these 501st guys are, because this is just like a really weird looking, funky ATRT. So I don't know. Like, if you want it, good luck finding it, because I mean, it's not easy to find necessarily. It's been sold out on Lego.com for like decades. That's the wrong terminology, but you get what I mean. Like a lot of stuff on Lego.com, specifically Star Wars, has been sold out for months. You know, you have to actually go to a Lego store or go somewhere else to find sets. And, you know, the companion set to this one would be that AAT that is $40 and only 240 some odd pieces. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's definitely not worth it. Although I did find it on Amazon for $32. They're not coming in stock until January 6th. And as of this recording, it's December 22nd. I haven't looked to see if that has changed at all. But, you know, I was like, I kind of want this set. I really want the figures that come with it. I don't know how I feel about that AAT. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just like Star Wars as a whole. They're having a weird moment in 2020 and maybe even 2021 where they're like, I don't know what we're doing, guys. Like, well, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm so confused. I don't know how to make the sets better if they were already great, but we can't just make carbon copies, can we? I'm like, yes, you can. You absolutely can. You just need to make sure that, like, it's what people want and not just a ton of rehashes, but whatever. I'm going off on crazy tangents, so I'm going to go. This has been MCLegofied. Yes, MCLegofied with 75280, the 501st Clone Troopers set, whatever it's called. Please, in the future, do not spam Lego in order to get sets that you want. I think it's absolutely appropriate to let them know in respectful manners, but never spam. Don't spam. All right? I think you definitely do need to be persistent. And to, like, you know, every time you're at the Lego store, you know, say something to a manager, or anytime that you're, like, if you are online, like, hey, I would love to see this represented in Lego Star Wars. Like, that'd be great, you know? Don't just spam, we want a 501st battle pack. So, like, I would love to have, like, an Ewoks battle pack. Are you kidding me? Like, that'd be so awesome. I can't get enough people that would want to be like, hey, make a bunch of Ewoks, you know, base them off of the designs from the cartoon, please.
Gengar Ewoks!
That's ridiculous. So, anyway, yeah. See you guys.
If you can beat 'em, joy.